Good evening, boys and girls. It's time for another bedtime story with Miss Alonso. I hope that you had a wonderful day, and as you are getting ready and settled down for bed, I hope that this story helps spark your imagination just like it does the character in our story. Today I'm going to read you a story about a dragon, and his name is Duncan, and Duncan loves to read. The reason why he loves to read so much is because his imagination when he is reading completely catches fire. But unfortunately, so does his books. So as I read to you tonight, I hope that it also spikes your imagination and catches your imagination on fire as we read to find out how Duncan solves his big problem. He is never able to finish a story because as it sparks his imagination, it also sparks his books on fire. So tonight's story is called Duncan the Story Dragon. Duncan the Dragon loved to read, just like Miss Alonso. I love that he's having a nice treat while he enjoys his story. When Duncan reads a book, the story comes to life. I love that. You can see it sparking his imagination. It looks like it's a story about the outer space and maybe some alien creatures. And his imagination caught fire. Unfortunately, so did his book. Oh no. He was unable to even find out the end of his story. Oh, Miss Alonso would be devastated if my book's caught on fire. I just want to finish a book, said Duncan. I need to know what happens. Do the pirates find treasure? Does the captain save the ship? Do aliens conquer the earth? He never gets to finish any of these stories. And I want to read those two wonderful words like the last sip of a chocolate milkshake. The end. Poor Duncan. Duncan tried everything to keep his cool. Really, truly, everything. Bless his heart. He's trying everything he can to keep him cool. Fans, drinking a nice cold drink. He even has a fire extinguisher, and he has his tail in a big cold ice bucket while he's in the ice cold bath, but it still does not work. Ugh. I have an idea, said Duncan. I will find a friend to read to me. That is an excellent idea. We do that in class. If you find a word you do not know, you try to find a friend that can help you before you go to Miss Alonso. So Duncan searched a nearby neighborhood. Hello, friend, he said to the raccoon. Would you please read me this book? So he finds a raccoon. Look at the raccoon's eyes. I think he's a little surprised to see Duncan there. I would be surprised if a dragon came up to me too. Whoop! Oh man. He fainted right in that trash can. I think Duncan startled him a little bit. Duncan explored an evergreen forest. Hello, friend, he said to a possum. Could you please read me this book? Look at the possum's face. Oh, I think he's a little startled too. And look at these two hugging up here, hanging upside down in the branch. But Duncan looks so excited. Maybe the possum won't be so scared like the raccoon. Plonk. Did what a possum always does. Look. Plays possum. Duncan traveled to a faraway farm. Hello, friend, he said to the bull. Will you please read me this book? I don't know that the bull is going to be as scared. Oh, look at that bull's face. I'm not so sure. Yow! Look, he chased Duncan, the dragon, up a tree. The bird even flew up in the air. Poor Duncan, he just wants someone to read to him. After searching the entire countryside, Duncan trudged back to his cottage. Poor Duncan. He's headed back home. And his head is held down. He just wants to get to the ending. As he hugged his book, a fat tear trickled down Duncan's cheek. It landed with a plop, dribbled across the floor. Oh, poor Duncan. Then ran splat into a mouse. His tear was so big, it ran right into this little mouse. And look, he is reading a book. It's called The Friendly Dragon. Sad ending? Asked the mouse. I'll never know, said Duncan. As Duncan explained his problem, he noticed a twinkle in the mouse's eye. Do you like books? Duncan asked. I love books, said the mouse. Well, the mouse doesn't seem so scared. He's a brave mouse, just like the mouse we read last night. I love how he's cheering up Duncan. Could you, will you please read me this book? Certainly, said the mouse. So the mouse read to Duncan carefully. Oh, look how happy he is. And the mouse is just sitting right up on his tail. How sweet. I love that this brave mouse is kind enough to read the story. Together, they battled sea monsters, dodged icebergs. Wow. Look at those sea monsters. They look just like the Vikings. They're in battle, and there's the icebergs they had to dodge. What a cool ship they are in. And look, there's the mouse. He's the captain. And discovered new lands. Wow. They took breaks for roasted hot dogs and toasted marshmallows. And they don't even have to worry about building a fire. Being a dragon comes in handy when you want to enjoy a nice treat like marshmallows or roasted hot dogs. No matter if you're in a really cold place or not. Finally, the friends sailed home. Then the mouse read those two wonderful words like the last sip of chocolate milkshake. Do you see the two words? The end. He finally got to hear the last two words. But actually, it was only the beginning. And if you see, the mouse and Duncan are together, and it looks like they're at the library and they're getting another book. And it looks to me like it is a new beginning of a new friendship between two different characters, which reminds me of last night's story. So the lesson that we can learn from this is you can make a new friend, someone that you may have never expected to be friends with. You might have something in common, just like the mouse and Duncan in this story. They both love to read. And I love how the mouse was really brave and went and talked to Duncan first, after especially him feeling really defeated from so many animals being scared of him. I do hope that this sparked your imagination. I know that Victoria and I really enjoy to read, but what she also loves to do is to create her very own stories. So I have several boys and girls that not only love to read, but they like to write stories or change the ending to a story and maybe even create their own book. So while you're at home, I know we're not able to go to our library at school, but you could take some white paper, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again, and you have created a mini book that you could then write the title of a book, and then you could write your own book and include your very own pictures, especially when it's been kind of chilly outside. And what a great idea to roast some yummy marshmallows on these cool evenings. I do hope that you enjoyed tonight's book. Tomorrow is Miss Alonso's brother's birthday, so I will finally get to spend some time with family, and we're going to celebrate together and actually have our own little roasted marshmallows and grill out some yummy hamburgers and hot dogs. So I do hope that you and your family have a wonderful weekend. Since we'll be celebrating my brother's birthday, I will be reading to you again on Monday, and I cannot wait. I hope that you have a great weekend. To all my boys and girls, I love you and I miss you, and I cannot wait to see you next week for your last pickup day. I love you all. Sweet dreams.